Yes, it's hand drawn. The previous 6 videos, let me just show you, yeah. The previous 6 videos that I shot was creating this picture of Ozzy. Let me just show you, it is real. There you are, there's the paper. Hand drawn with these, and putty rubber and pencil and load of music. Now I'm drawing a lot of musicians because I'm planning a book. It won't be a very big book and it's got to be self-published, but there's a goal for it. The only thing is it's going to take about a year. I've already worked on the pictures digitally, so anything that I've done like this I've already created as a digital page, and I'm slowly going through it to create them. It's just I've got to draw the portraits to get them in the book. You would think that I'd be able to just do the other portraits, but no, I've decided to make it tough for myself, and I'm drawing a lot of musicians that I haven't drawn yet. So this took 11 days. As I said, it's already in the book that I'm designing. It's another Ozzy picture. I will be drawing Ozzy again quite a few times in this book. But this one is Ozzy around 1982-83. I mean, if you look there, he's got the cape, and the cape was around that time. So during the time of Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, Bark at the Moon, that era, those 3 classic albums. And just have a look at the other videos and you'll see that I've drawn it by hand. You'll see it being created. So who am I doing next? Well, if you know life in the 70s, especially early 70s, you'll know this group. So this is 2 days in. I've got lack of light at the moment, so I'm doing this video quick and then I'm going to put it on straight away. Again, I've got a tangle of hair. It's like a maze. It gets easier as you work on it, but it's an absolute nightmare to do this, and you just have to play music. Now, I grew up in the I started life in the 70s. My heart is still with that era. Let me just sharpen this. It's not going to change. No matter how modern life gets, I find myself being drifted back towards the 70s. Seriously, if I could get a time machine and go back to the 70s and live all my years in the 70s and just go, when it gets to 79, to just rewind the clock and live the next decade in the 70s, I would do. There was a lot of creativity there. There was freedom, and there were no cameras. I mean, weird thing about cameras, during the 70s, one great big joke was you had holiday slides and you invited your neighbours round to see your holiday slides, your neighbours and your friends, to say, oh look, I visited here, and if you were lucky enough you had a cine camera. And it would be silent, usually, but this silent camera would record everything, and look, here's mum waving at the beach, and it was a big joke. We all laughed about it. Now we put them on Facebook and social media. It's stupid. But well, I will always stay with the 70s. I'll always be a 70s kid. And that includes everything Star Wars and everything rock music. I mean, I started life with the first song that I remember, I'm pretty sure, was Starman. However, there's Alice Cooper's School's Out. There's music from this guy who had a band. And you had to be there. It was just a really good, lively era, and you could say hedonistic, and yes it was, but when I was a child, obviously I didn't know that. For me, it was just full of entertainment, and music was a massive part. And because I grew up in the 70s, I had the holy trinity of Slade, Sweet, Wizard, with Suzi Quatro and T-Rex, and it's just the wealth of music that was in the 70s is shocking. It was everywhere, and especially when you compare it to now. I think the best thing to say is that I don't do vanilla. I don't do vanilla pop, that kind of stuff. I don't think I will ever buy another modern record, and I haven't done for decades. If you look back at some of the other videos that I've done, I've said about the Top of the Pops thing that it was just, I was enjoying this and they took it away and changed it for Europop. But in America, you didn't have that. You had grunge, and a lot of rock acts were still around. Well, in the UK, it was a lot of Europop and a lot of engineered music, you know, that kind of stuff. Now, what I need to do for this... Oh, I better show you who I'm doing if you don't know who it is. You should do. This is 2 days in. And I'm actually surprised I've done 2 days. But if you want to know who it is, there you are. No? How about that? And that. And I'm drawing Ian Hunter. Now, this one has Once Bitten Twice Shy on it, which was a cover they did a cover version with another band. I can't remember who it was. I really can't remember who it was without checking. But it was a decent cover version. So I wasn't alive when... Oh, by the way, there's this as well. Really good album. Live broadcasts. 2 live broadcasts on an album. Now, I wasn't around when All the Young Dudes was out in the charts. That was 1971. I was minus a few months, really. But I remember the song. I remember the song so well. And then there's Golden Age of Rock and Roll. And Sweet Jane. And Walking Memphis. And it's just... These songs were the soundtrack to my early years. And Ian Hunter with Mott The Hoople, they were given an option by David Bowie to have Suffragette City. And I think it was Ian Hunter who said, I want All the Young Dudes. So that song was written by David Bowie and given to them. And I've always liked the song. I've always liked the lyrics of the song. I've always liked everything about it. That's not really the reason that I'm doing it. but Ian Hunter's got to be in it. Now, I don't know too much about the band, so I'm going to be learning as I'm drawing and researching. But the thing is, when I was around in the 70s, music was everything. It defined you. And teenagers would... let me just try and work out where I am. Yeah. Teenagers would go out and buy albums. You look at all the young dudes and those teenagers walking to the gig. But they had gigs. Gigs weren't that expensive. Price-wise, compared to now, something that was a few pound, couple of pence or something, maybe 20 quid for a ticket or something. You know, it may have been more expensive because of inflation. But you used to be able to see rock acts and go to see rock acts pretty much anywhere. My mum, I'm in an area that's pretty much devoid of art. It's one reason I'm moving, but my mum went out to clubs around here in the 60s. Well, those ended before I was born, and the club was turned into a bingo hall. And this is a dance club that had bands and chart bands as well, but it had bands and it had a sprung floor for dancing, and you used to go there on a Friday, Saturday, watch the live band, come home. It was a mile away. I didn't have that. My out was going to the shops with my parents, with my mum and other grandparents and that, and we just went to the shops, went to Woolworths, walked around Woolworths. That was their out. That was the out. Now you get on to this social media ban. Well, look, I'm the first one to say that Facebook hasn't been good to me. I have been on there for 15 years. If you think that it's just a child ban, wrong. It's going to affect adults more than children, because you're going to have to opt in, and you're going to have to show that you're an adult. But I have been on Facebook for 15 years this year. When I started, I was creating a cartoon series. That cartoon series ended. The creation of it ended because we couldn't find the financing. I've said it before, it broke me. But I was creating a cartoon series. Now, I came up with that idea. I created that idea myself. I woke up with the... get that wood off. I woke up with the idea and started drawing and writing. Now, I am of the type that if I go and do... if something isn't working, I will fiddle at it until it does work. And all my focus will be on that. Now, with social media, with Facebook, I've run a page on there since 2013. It's not working. They want me to pay to boost posts. It is a bad mobile phone game where you have to pay to get the moves. I've said this before in other videos. Right now, this picture of Ozzy has got... I put it on Friday. Thursday, Friday. 13. And it's dead. Beyond that 13 is about 260 plus looking at it and not doing anything. This is a habit that these people have got that are around me. Now you may wonder why they are doing this. After all, you draw this realistically. Takes time. You should have some sort of praise, especially when you've seen videos where, well, you've seen pictures on there with, I saw something drawn in, I think, biro or something like that, where I was, it got 44,000 likes, 51 shares, and it was a really ropey portrait. It just thrust it at me, you know, it was just, here, look at this because you're an artist. The algorithm chucked it at me, I wasn't bothered about it. Now, they must have been rigging the system to do that. But there is another thing, and that is that this paper, this artwork, is attached to this pencil and this hand. And this hand is attracted to the one who's is attached to the one who's talking now and trying to get his words out. There has been a very long-standing thing on my social media page, so much so I'm ready to quit, that they don't talk to me. People just don't talk. Now that's the thing, that they're on about a social media ban and this kind of thing. You soon find out, you soon discover that if no one is talking to you on social media and you're not getting much out of it, you soon realise that this game stinks and you want to move on to something else. Well, I'm on that level now. And now with the social media ban coming in for teenagers, well, teenagers have got to have something. You can't just take and take and take. They did it when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I grew up in the video nasties era of the 80s. Maurice Bright, a Conservative MP at the time, was on the news once saying that, and this video is on YouTube. Go look for Maurice Bright. And he mentions that these videos are so evil, they're so dangerous, that they will affect your dog. I am not kidding. He said that they would affect your dog. They also said that if you play The Evil Dead, it will possess your VCR. Again, I'm not kidding. Now, these films that were going to be dangerous, yes, Lucio Fulci and, you know, the Italian horrors, there are some gory horrors. But he was also on about Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, those were covered in it. But also, these films were, it wasn't just horror, it wasn't just adult films. It was cartoons, it was children's films, pretty much everything was censored during that time. This country's got a very strong history of censorship on all media. Now, I'm not saying that social media is good for you. Hell no, it isn't. But I do know that if I'd have not gone onto social media, I would have possibly not been doing this, but also I may have been creating something else and trying to get it printed, you know, to try and get it into publication. Now, there's a problem, because when I started creating, you just approached agents. You get something like the Writers and Artists Yearbook, and you'd open it up, contact companies and agents, say I've got an idea, and just post it to them. And they'd look at it, and invariably they'd say no. Well, now you've got to have a few 100,000 views and supporters on social media. They want you to have a ready audience before you've got a ready audience. It's the same thing as when you want to get a job and you need experience, and they're not going to give you experience. And how do you get experience without... You know what I mean? It's a catch-22 thing. Well, during the 70s, children had music. We all had music. And you could go out and buy instruments. But children had music. Music was a way to define you. If you look at the punk era of the 70s, it defined a generation. The same way as disco, the same way as glam rock. It defined a generation. And in the 80s, New Romantics, again, defined a generation. Now, what we've got at the moment is lost souls stuck on social media and just looking at it. Short form videos are not good for you. The thing is, when I was creating this cartoon, and I'll have to switch off soon, but when I was creating this cartoon, I was told that children don't have the attention span that we have. I'd been preparing for a 20-minute episode because I was basing it on the Scooby-Doo format of 20 minutes. Usually when you write a script, one page is 1 minute. So you'd create a 20-page or a bit over script, and then you'd rewrite it, and eventually you'd have a script that you could write. But with me being on social media, I'm not writing. Because I'm trying to work out how to get noticed with this, and I don't think it's going to work. But I'm drawing, and I've made a connection with something, but I'm waiting for an answer. But social media isn't it. What I'm getting at is that teenagers have got to have something. Everyone has got to have something. You can't just switch something off and say, well, that's it, get on with your life. Teenagers are bored. Boredom created this. But a bored teenager can be dangerous because they're going to get into trouble. They're outside. You've got... I mean, when I was a teenager, they were saying that there was a load of teenage pregnancies. Got nothing to do. Something happens. 9 months later, little rumour or accident. They haven't got anything to do. And we were all, as teenagers in the 80s, we were mistrusted. The same way as the 70s, the same way as the 60s. I didn't do anything wrong. But the perception was, you're watching horror movies, and you're a danger to society, and we don't trust you, and we're going to keep an eye on you. So see what happens? You see this? It's cyclical. Now, the thing is, social media, for whatever it does, as an artist, you can show your artwork on there. Well, that'll be gone. But if you show your artwork on there, you're going to be feeding a machine that is ever hungry and they could possibly use your artwork to train AI. There's no way out of it, and there's no other avenue to go. But boredom creates imagination. If you're a child, let's say you're a child, you wake up one morning, you're a dinosaur, you're a pirate. Oh, it's flashing, it needs a battery change. Pirate, dinosaur, superhero, all in the space of one morning. That imagination is taken out from you, from your life, because you're told to sit down and shut up and learn from the teacher. You need imagination, and boredom breeds imagination. Anyway, I will have to switch off. This is 2 days in, and there'll be another video where I'll continue this. See ya.